Hello, gorgeous. I'm lopsided. This week we have another product by Skin Food, but this time it's a sheet mask. It is a coconut sheet mask, and I neglected to get the magnifying glass out. Okay, here we go. A beauty food mask that provides radiance and moisture to dry, rough skin to make it healthy. And I can leave it for, let's see, 10 to 20 minutes, remove it, lightly pat to absorb remaining essence. Okay, cool, easy. So, last week I talked about the summer of 75, and Cheryl talked about turning trash into beauty. And we ended up being envious of each other's topics, so we decided this week to switcho changeo. I'm going to be showing a lot of photos during this particular video. Probably more photos than you'll be seeing me, but there's not a lot to see seeing me this week. So I think the first instance I remember in my life of seeing what would normally be trash turned into treasure was a purse that was given to my mother. I still have the purse, but it's missing in action. I think it's at the house we used to live in that we're still working on, as are a pair of earrings that I'm going to show. But what it was my father was, for a long time, a police officer, well, for 40 years, for the city of Houston, Texas, and toward the late middle part of his career, he had been promoted gradually, and he was a detective in burglary and theft. And some guy who apparently he arrested and who was imprisoned made a purse for my mother out of Camel cigarette packages. And I'm going to insert a photo of one I found on the internet. Mine is slightly larger horizontally and has a little flap. Otherwise, it's pretty much identical. And this was made as a gift to my father in thanks for setting him on the right path by this prisoner. And I'll insert the photo here. Also, another thing, I think growing up with depression-age parents, you learn the value of $1, and you look at sort of everything and evaluate it for its potential. You don't really regard much of anything as garbage. And I grew up under quilts, and when I was about 45, started quilting myself. And, you know, what is a quilt but, you know, turning trash into treasure? I mean, my mother's mother, who was called my nanny, who passed away when I was 5 years old, she supported 3 kids. Her husband had passed away. He was, I guess you call a logger in East Texas, and also did odd jobs, and he was helping somebody roof a house and fell from the ladder and broke his neck or his back and lingered for quite some time and then passed away. But anyway, at that point she moved from Kirbyville, Texas to Houston, where she raised 2 sons and a daughter by making dresses for anybody she could get a job to make dresses from. So, you know, you take these scraps, alleged refuse, alleged garbage, and make quilts, which, you know, are a useful thing to sleep under, but they're, in my experience, also generally a thing of beauty. And so there's that. When I met my best friend, Miss Perry, she was, and still is, to a lesser extent, a bassoonist. And any bassoon player worth their salt makes their own reeds because you know your own embouchure and better than anybody else. So a commercially made reed is never going to be, I think, as good as one you make for yourself. So that involves, buying sticks of, I guess it's bamboo, and string and wax. And what happens, though, is that, say you make 10 reeds, and out of the 10 reeds, maybe 2 or 3 of them are going to be just perfect reeds. So you keep those to play with, and what do you do with the other 8? Well, Perry, being Perry, made earrings. And I do own a pair of them, but like I say, these are probably at the house. I can't find them right now, but I'm going to insert a photo of someone else's bassoon earrings. Apparently, Perry's not the only person who's had this bright idea. So this is another instance of, I mean, if you don't know what a bassoon reed is, you're probably not going to know what those earrings are, but you're probably going to think, wow, those are really cool. So I'm going to just show you some other odds and ends, and then I'm going to show you some photos of some other things that, probably a lot of people would think are garbage, but I think are beautiful. This is a pair of earrings. I've had these probably between 22 and 25 years, and I wore them in an early video and got quite a few compliments. See how old they are? They're still on their little card, which is okay, but anyway. And what this is basically is just a diamond-shaped piece of watercolor paper that somebody, painted this design on, folded, glued together, and then put, earring backings on. And they're still great, and I still love them. Here's another pair, and I'm not sure what kind of paper this is. It doesn't seem to be watercolor paper, but it's a similar thing. It's just, these are different in that they've been folded, probably, had some glue on them to keep them in place. But, likewise, just, painted, gray, gold, brown, and black. I used to wear this. This was in a lot of videos, and this is a knife. I guess it's a little butter knife that's been bent into the shape of a wrist and made into a bracelet. And this one just happens to say the L's are not what they seem, which is a reference to a television show Twin Peaks. This is another one of Perry's creations. Perry is, by profession, a website designer. So her father was a computer programmer who had worked at NASA. So Perry has been around computers her whole life and knows them inside as well as out. So this is some kind of chunk of a computer that she added some beads to. And it's this beautiful necklace. I've been lucky. I've been the recipient of many of Perry's art projects. This, however, is not. This, I'm sure you've seen these. These are little beads that are made out of, I think Cheryl made some of these, but she made hers out of Coke bottles. And these are, little piece of paper, and whatever it was, in this case, it was, pretty much the same color. But anyway, they're cut into long diamond strips and fold up with glue, and then, have some paint or something on it to keep them from coming unraveling. In this case, they've been woven together, with some stretchy string and some little beads. I got that at a local shop in Tupelo, Mississippi called The Main Event, I think. And I'm not sure, people are definitely into diamonds and rubies and amethysts, and of course so am I, but I'm also into the lesser stones because I think they're just gorgeous. This, for example, I have several here, but I just, you know, you can wear them on the same chain. Anyway, that's some sort of agate. Oh, I hope you can get an idea of the true colors there because they're really beautiful. I think this is also another kind of agate here, but totally different colors. Agates are some of the most versatile because there are so many varieties of them. See, this one is reminiscent of, I mean, you don't see the beach, but you see the waves coming into the shore anyway. Anyway, I have a number of these, and you just, you know, switch out whatever chain you have them on. Hi, I'm inserting this later because I forgot to show you a couple of things. You may have seen this before in another video, but this is my Psycho Barbie clown ring. I bought this on Etsy, and if I can find the shop, I think it might have closed, but if I can find it, I'll list it below. But this is a guy who takes Barbie heads, then carves them into the shape of a ring and paints them into different things, you know. What comes to mind, some of them were painted, you know, with like Aboriginal makeup and stuff, but I favored the Psycho Barbie clown myself. Anyway, I'm going to now show you some photos of just things I've seen around on the internet, of which I am quite enamored, and I'll be doing a voiceover for that. Here we go. This is a house made completely with beer cans, I believe in San Francisco. And this is a house made completely with wine bottles and, you know, of course, plaster to hold it all together, as is, I suppose, the beer can house. And this house is made with liter Coke bottles, and there's a picture showing, you know, in cement, obviously, picture showing how it's done. This is a photo from the Orange Show in Houston, Texas, which is in praise of the orange and also a tribute to the arts. This is a photo of Perry's first art car. That's me standing by it in the art car parking lot. This is a 57 Plymouth Belvedere, and yes, I was briefly a strawberry blonde. Anyway, it's the Penguin Plymouth. This is Perry's current art car, which is the Centrasaurus, and that's Perry in one of the more recent art car parades. She matches the car, as you can see. This piece of art was made completely with those little metal cars that little boys like to play with, that you can, you know, when they tire of them, you can find them at garage sales for a dime. And this piece of art is a portrait of, is her name Honey Boo Boo? Is that her name? Anyway, made with found objects of various kinds. This wine glass hanger is made from an old rusted rake hung on the wall. And these three little hangers are made out of forks. These little, you know, these little hooks that you can hang your keys on or whatever. This particular artist took mouse traps and painted them and hung them on the wall, and as you can see, the keys are hanging from them, keeping receipts there, coupons, etc. This piece of art, which appears to be a woman standing in the wind, is made out of rusted gears and other, I don't know, bolts and all sorts of things. This Christmas ornament, I think it's probably made out of muslin and a lot of buttons. Never throw your buttons away. If your clothing is not recyclable, cut off those buttons and save them. This mirror, which would be great, you know, in a place like this in my office where I put on my makeup, is made out of old costume jewelry. Looks like from the 50s and 60s. This little lamp is kind of like a night light. Bunny did a DIY of this on her channel, and if I can find the link, I'll list it below. I plan to make one of these, but it's a baby doll head, and a lamp base. And this hanging lamp is made out of liter Coke bottle tops and string. This beautiful table has been made out of probably beer bottle tops and a lot of epoxy. And I was going to make one of these, but I can't drink that much beer. I just can't do it. This is the old kind of books that are just kind of eaten by roaches and stuff, and they're just really not worth anything anymore. But this is a really nice safe that you could put on your bookshelf because nobody would know it's there. And I don't know where this is. I'm guessing it's Europe, though, but this is a great entrance outside of a bookstore. Wow. I don't know about you, but that really makes me want to go in. Also, I did want to say, in conclusion, I'm going to show you a couple pictures of my home decorated. I think this is last Christmas or the Christmas before, which might explain my personal tastes and what I consider beautiful. Cheryl and I think, have similar tastes for eccentric or eclectic decor, and yeah, that might explain a lot. Before I take the mask off, just one more piece of jewelry that I have. I bought this locally. It seems like it's just a piece of felt, and then on this side, somebody has kind of crushed up or purchased already crushed up gemstones, and just it has a little magnetic clasp on it, so you can wear it. The clasp is attractive, so you can wear it with the clasp showing or not, as you choose. So anyway, okay, so the mask has been on for the allotted period of time, and this is one that I don't have to leave the room to see how it is. Just take it off, take it off. And this is the kind of mask that after you take it off, really the desired thing is to not really even wash it off, but just rub it in and let it do its stuff. If you're still watching at this point, I want to tell you I'm sorry there was only one video of last week. I had recorded the Halloween video and last week's mask video and uploaded those, and then I started having some odd computer issues that lasted a day or two before I was able to resolve them. And cross your fingers that this isn't the beginning of the end for my little computer here. Then I got this scratch on my face, 2 of them actually. Let's see. This one is almost gone, but this one is pretty visible, so I didn't really want to put any makeup on. So that's why. So anyway, sorry about that. And Cheryl, to me, the video she did last week was just more Cheryl than just about any video I've seen her do, because she has the heart of a true artist. I have never seen anybody take so much alleged garbage and turn it into something beautiful. She's really, to me personally, a shining example of that. I mean, look at her garden, for heaven's sake. Look at all those, all the stuff that she's taken, just, that she found in the dump and just turned it into just a place of beauty and wonder. And then all of her art projects, I mean, the little ornaments she's been making. And I mean, okay, you know, she went out and bought the felt, but this is also the kind of thing that you can, you know, find remnants of if you want to look for it, you know, that you can just about make out of garbage. Like, I have a closet, not a closet full, I've got a bin, one of these plastic bins full of discontinued upholstery fabric samples, most of which, as you can imagine, are quite gorgeous and perfect for that sort of thing, like Cheryl is doing right now. And also for making, for example, a crazy quilt, which is what I intend to do with them. So anyway, I blabbed enough. Please go see Cheryl's video this week. She's going to be talking about the summer of '75, and I can't wait to hear what that's all about. Anyway, that's it for this week. Love y'all. Bye.